Hi, we're in snippet number 3 already, and let's just go back to where we left off in snippet number 2, in Revelation chapter 17 and verse 4. And here it says, having in her hand a golden cup full of abominations and the filthiness of her fornication. So, in the hand of this harlot woman, remember, is a wine cup, and the whole world is drinking from this wine cup. So we know quite a bit about this woman already, don't we? But let's ask Jesus, where is the headquarters of this woman? Just so that we can be certain it's not the wrong institution being accused here. And I think that's pretty important. In Revelation 17 verse 9, it says, this calls for a mind of wisdom. Have you got a mind of wisdom? The 7 heads are 7 hills upon which the woman sits. And so the woman is a false system of religion. Her colours are purple and scarlet, and she sits on a city that has 7 hills. I've got a question for you. Do you know of any city in Europe which is the capital of a religion, mind you, a political system whose leader has influenced the leaders of Europe down through the ages, and the city sits on 7 hills? What do you think? Do you know your geography? Jesus is giving us a geography lesson here. Well, there's only one city that meets that description in the world today, and that's Rome. The fallen church system of Revelation chapter 17 has colours of purple and scarlet, and it sits on a city with 7 hills. The golden wine cup in her hand represents the false doctrines, or the intoxication of false doctrines. In the wine cup is false doctrine. We're talking church, right? And so we're talking doctrine. And the whole world gets drunk or becomes drunk on the false doctrine of the mother church. Now Jesus wants to tell us something else. He wants to tell us what the name is written on the forehead of this woman. Revelation chapter 17 and verse 5. And on her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth. And so she is the mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth. And so what Jesus is trying to tell us here is that she is the mother of churches. Jesus is telling us that she is the mother of churches. Now, tell me, where do a mother's children come from? Well, that's easy, isn't it? They come out of her. But as they come out of her, they retain something that belongs to her, and that is her DNA. And that's exactly how they can be identified today, right? By her DNA. Now, when I was just a toddler, I was going to the convent school. The dear nuns used to say to us, as we asked questions, as little children do, very inquisitive, and we asked the question, why are there so many churches in the world? Because we were being told that the Roman Church was the universal church, and so naturally little children, inquisitive little children, were asked, well, why are there so many other churches in the world? That's a question I was asking as a little child. And the nun said to us, yes, there are many other churches in the world, but they are the rebellious daughters of the Mother Church. They're the rebellious daughters of the Mother Church, and one day they'll all come back to the Mother Church again. Now you tell me, do you think that somehow the Mother Church has some inside knowledge on this thing? I think they do. I think they do. Now these daughters of hers, we need to give them some thought. They've come out of the Mother Church since the Reformation period, and they have retained something that belongs to her. That's her DNA, and that's exactly how they can be identified today. Remember too that their daughters have had more daughters, and so on. The procreation process keeps going. Now, I don't want to say anything to offend anyone of any religious persuasion or denomination here today. That's not what I'm about. I don't believe that salvation has anything to do with flying denominational flags. The truth of the matter is that there are wonderful individuals in every church, denomination and organisation in the world. It doesn't mean their organisation has it right. Okay? At Connect Productions, which is what I head up, I have this saying that goes like this: there's no copyright on the truth. There's no copyright on the truth, guys. So what that means is it's quite profound. It means that no religious organisation or denomination in the world can claim to own the truth. The truth comes to us as we seek God and study His Word. And as the Spirit of God guides us into all truth, we take it into our hearts and our minds, and then we begin to share that with others because we become excited about it, don't we? And as birds of a feather flock together, we'll begin to fellowship with those of like belief. Isn't that how it happens? That's exactly how it happens. I believe that there are Baptists and Presbyterians, Seventh-day Adventists, Pentecostals and Catholics who love Jesus Christ. There's no doubt about that. And regardless of all the political correctness, and the legal ramifications of saying what we're saying here today, Revelation chapter 12 and Revelation chapter 17 are something Jesus wants us to know about. So God is giving us this information so that we can make an informed decision as to which one of these two groups we want to belong to. So choose ye this day whom you will serve. In other words, we each have a mini Elijah experience all over again here. Jesus wants us to know about these two churches. And what God's doing is he's calling people who've been a part of the great mother church to come out of her, my people. He's been doing that since the Reformation period. I personally am one of those who have come out of her, my people, right? And so tied up in this presentation today is my own personal testimony. And so I qualify to call you out because I have done also myself. Now God is also calling people that are a part of the daughters of the mother of harlots, those who have the DNA of the mother church, the Protestant daughters. Remember that they have the DNA of the mother church. Remember too that they've had daughters, and the procreation process has been happening for a long time now, and we have neo-churches right across the planet, maybe claiming to have no association back there to the mother church, no connection at all, but they have the DNA of the mother church. God is calling us out. Come out of her, my people, lest you receive the plagues that are soon to fall on the mother church. And her associates. That's right. And her associates. It's not just about the mother church anymore. It was back in the Dark Ages and the early stages of the Reformation. But there's now a whole confederacy of churches that have the DNA of the mother church, and they cling to it as though it was the truth. He's calling them from the errors that have slipped into Christianity, into the church, from paganism. God is calling his people to the truth of his word, and that's what it's all about. God, Revelation, is concerned with these two groups who profess to worship the God of the Bible. My question is, do you have a heart for the truth? Do you long for the truth? I love the truth, no matter what, even if it costs me my life. Now, I hope that doesn't happen, but we need to remember how much the Protestant reformers put on the line for us. My appeal to you today is, I want to know the truth no matter what. Are you like that? Are you a truth seeker? Join the Truth Seeker Club. Or are you sold out on the truth, like the mother of harlots, the woman dressed in purple and scarlet? Do you already have the DNA of the mother of harlots embedded in your heart? Are you going to make your stand with the mother of harlots? Or are you going to follow Jesus Christ? Because he says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except by me. You shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free.